Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, and welcome to our Learn Arabic show. Alright, so in our previous sessions we had already discussed about the cases where you find accusative form, the cases which will take a genitive form, the cases whereby you find sentences having a nominative form. Now today we are going to look at sentences which will carry a jazm, that is, or you can call it a justif, right? So our today's topic will be الحروف الجازمة. Right? الحروف الجازمة, meaning these are the particles that carry the jazm. Jazima, this comes from the word jazm. You all know what that means. That is the sukoon, right? And huruf, these are the particles. So these are the particles that carry the jazm. Now I will be listing down the huruful jazima. Now if any of these letters that I will list, okay, they usually come before a present tense. So the first thing to note is they come, or they appear before a present tense, right? So that's the first thing to note. They appear before a present tense, and they will give a sukoon, to the present tense. Okay, so they will give a sukoon to the present tense. It gives the last letter. So the last letter of, let's say, a present tense verb will carry a sukoon if it comes before the huruful jazima. Now what are the huruful jazima? We have 5 huruful jazima. We have 5. So we have 5 particles, or you can say the 5 huruful jazima, and these are, so the first one we have is in, which means if. Then we have lam, which means did not. Okay, thirdly we have lamma, meaning not yet. Okay, the fourth one we have is lamul amr. So we have the lam of amr. Lamul amr is like the command. Okay, so if I put a lam before the present tense, I'm trying to command you. Okay, so that is lamul amr, which is a command, like he should do this, he shall do this, you should do this, and etc. Right? Okay, then we have la'un nahi. Okay, this is more like prohibition. Okay, I'm prohibiting you, do not do something, do not do this. Okay, so that is lamun nahi. Okay, so these are the 5 particles. Now if any of these particles in lamma, lamun nahyu, lamul amr, if any of these particles, if they appear before a present tense, the last letter of the present tense will carry a jazm, will carry a sukoon. So now we'll be constructing sentences using this huruful jazima. Okay, so you can note this down. We have in, lamma, lamun nahyu, lam, and lamul amr. Okay, so now we'll be constructing sentences using these particles. Right, so the first sentence we have using the particle in. Okay, we have in tajlis, in أجلس أجلس. Now remember we said in means if. It's used, you know, in English when we have something like a conditional sentence. So this means if, more like a condition. Okay. And I said that these usually appear before the present tense. And when we were discussing about the fi'lul mudari, you remember the format of the present tense. Okay, just a quick recap. Anta tajlis, anta tajlisu, anti tajlisina. Okay. Huwa yadhhab, hiya tadhhab, ana adhhab. Okay, so in tajlis, so tajlis of course refers to anta. I can say anta tajlisu, meaning you masculine sit. It's a present tense, fi'lul mudari. But you notice here in the present tense, because this verb here has been preceded by a particle of jazm, has been preceded by a harful jazima, that is the in here, therefore the last letter of the verb, that is seen, carries a jazm. The last letter carries a sukun. Same with here, ajlis. The last letter again carries a sukun. In the normal form, in the normal tense, okay, I say anta tajlisu. But because here the present tense has been preceded by a particle of jazm, that is the harful jazm, so this last letter here obviously, instead of carrying a nominative, like in the usual case we say anta tajlisu, you masculine sit. Okay, so instead of saying tajlisu, I say in tajlis, ajlis, if you will sit, I will also sit. Okay, so this will translate, if you sit, I will sit. Okay, now you notice here that the present tense ajlis has been automatically converted itself into a future tense. So that's the second thing to note. Okay, this ajlis has been converted into a future tense, from present to future. I will sit, because it is conditional. Okay, it's conditional, if. So if you sit, I will also sit. I will sit. So this has become future. Okay, so it will be translated as future. So our second example we have is for lam. You know, lam means did not. Okay, so the sentence we have here is lam yadhribni. Lam yadhribni, meaning he did not hit me. Okay, yadhribni. Okay, this basically I can break it down into three. Okay, this comes from yadhrib, yadhribu. Yadhribu means he hits. Okay, so the root verb, of course, dharaba. Dharaba, he hit. Yadhribu, he hits. Yadhribni, he hits me. Okay, so lam yadhribni, he hits, he did not hit me. Of course, it becomes a negation because of the presence of lam, which means did not. And of course, the last letter again, you notice it carries a sukun. Why does the last letter of the verb carry sukun? Because of lam. Okay, so this translates to he did not hit me. Okay, then a third sentence we have using lamma. Okay, we have ذهب الولد ولما يعد. Okay, ذهب الولد ولما يعد. The boy has went, but he has not returned yet. Okay, so lamma is more like an exception of, or you can use it as for, you know, but Okay, so ذهب الولد ولما يعود. The boy went but has not returned yet. Okay, so this again, يعود means to return, to come back. Okay, so you notice here again, of course this is in the present tense format, يعود. You know when I say يضرب, يقرأ, يجلس, okay, يعود. Okay, so this is also in the present tense. However, instead of carrying a nominative case the way it would in the normal format, it only carries a sukun because it has been preceded by lamma, which is the particle of sukun, the particle of jazm. Okay, so we'll be looking at other examples, 2 more examples to sum this up. So the 4th example we have here is liyajlis. Okay. Liyajlis. Li, of course, this li here again is the particle of jazm. So li is my particle of jazm, right? Liyajlis meaning he should sit, okay? He should sit. Now this lam here, I'll ask you, is this lam lamul amr or is this lamul nahi? What will be your reply? Of course, this is lamul amr. This is the lam of command, meaning he should sit or he shall sit, okay? So this is not lamun nahi. Lamun nahi is when I want to prohibit you from doing something. Do not sit. Then I can use lamun nahi. But over here, this lam is of course referring to lamul amr, the lam of command. So he should sit. And of course, again here, the last letter of the verb carries a jazm because it has been preceded by the particle of jazm. And of course, now we will have our la tajlis. So when I tell you la tajlis, okay, meaning do not sit, okay? So this lam here is of course not lamul amr, this is lamun nahi. Okay, you know when we say nahi anil munkar, to prohibit someone from doing evil, okay? So this is the same thing. La tajlis, do not sit. La tal'ab, do not play. La tashrab, do not drink. La taqra, do not read. Okay, so la tajlis, do not sit. Lam here is lamul, of course, lamun nahi. And of course, again, the last letter carries a jazm as usual because it's preceded by the particle of jazm. Okay. So please do not confuse between the lamul amr and the lamun nahi. Okay, this is lamul amr and this is the lamun nahi. Okay, depending on the context of your sentence. Now, of course, we have a few important notes, important points that should be discussed. So I'll be listing them down. So the first thing to note here is that, you know, the particle in, okay, the one that means if, okay, this usually appears before 2 verbal sentences. So this appears before 2 verbal sentences. Okay, and what are those 2 sentences? The first sentence is the shart, meaning the condition, okay? The shart meaning the condition. And the second sentence, of course, is what you call the jaza, meaning the result, okay? Now, what do I mean by shart and what do I mean by jaza? Okay, if we look back to the example I had given you, I had said, for example, in tajlis, ajlis, okay? In tajlis, ajlis. If you translate this, it means if you sit, I will sit. Okay, if you sit. So what is the shart here? What is the condition? The condition is if you sit. Okay, so my condition is tajlis. So tajlis here is my shart. Tajlis is my my condition. So this is my condition. So what will be the result if you sit? The result is I will also sit, right? So I sit is my result, is the result of the sentence. The condition being you sit, the result being I will also sit. So this in, the point being here is that this in comes before the condition, it comes before the shart, and it comes before the jaza. You will not find in the middle. Okay, so I cannot say something like tajlis in ajlis, that doesn't make sense. Or I cannot say something like tajlis ajlis in, doesn't make sense. So the point here being that in, the particle in will come before the condition and before the result. It will come before the shart, my shart here, condition you sit, and before the result jaza, meaning I sit. So that was the first point to note. Okay, so I hope it's clear what is now, what do I mean? So now if I say shart, my shart, or my jaza, you know what I'm referring to. Condition, result. Condition, result. This is more like conditional sentences you learn in English, right? Okay, now again we have if in. If in now, if this in appears before illa, if appears before illa, then what happens? This then will be translated negatively. If in appears before illa, it should be translated negatively, okay? Translated negatively. What do I mean? So for example, we have a sentence here, in hadha illa malakun illa malakun karimun. Okay, in hadha illa malakun karimun. How will I translate it? He is not, okay? He is not but an honorable angel, okay? So this, of course, illa meaning but, malakun karimun, honorable angel, and in here, of course, this will be translated negatively. I can also translate it as he is an honorable angel, but this is more like an exception. He is not anything else but an honorable angel, okay? So he is not. So this will be translated negatively. He is not but an honorable angel. Okay, or I can say he is only an honorable angel. He is nothing else but an honorable angel. So this is what I meant when I said that this will obviously be translated negatively. Why? Because in comes before illa. So whenever in comes before illa, always remember it will be translated negatively using the word not. Okay, so whenever you find in comes before illa, it will be translated negatively. But of course, if illa is not present, like in our first example, it will be translated positively. For example, in tajlis ajlis. In tajlis ajlis, meaning it will be translated positively. If you sit, I will sit. I cannot translate it negatively, saying, if I say in tajlis ajlis, I translate it as if you sit, I will not sit. That doesn't make sense because there is no illa in the sentence. But if only there is illa in the sentence coming after in, obviously that's the only time it will be negative, right? Now our third point. So our third point we have is for fa. Now fa, okay, it is a particle and it should be brought before the jaza of the shirt, okay? Brought, now you know what I mean when I say shirt and when I say jaza, brought before the jaza of the shirt. When the jaza is one of the following. Okay, now of course this big ruling here blows your mind, but I'll try to explain it, okay? So fa is a particle. If it's brought before the jaza, okay, the jaza of the shirt, it should be brought before the jaza of the shirt, meaning it should be brought before the result of the condition, okay, but only when the result is one of the following. Okay, I hope it's clear till here, meaning that this letter particle fa should be brought before the result of the condition. So for example, I have a condition, okay, so this is for example my condition, okay, followed by, of course I'm writing this way, of course Arabic way. So first I'll say I have my condition, then I will have my fa, something something there, then I will have my result. So this is what this ruling is talking about, okay? So the fa is brought before the jaza of the shirt, that's here, but only when the jaza, the result is one of the following. Only when the result is one of the following. Now let's look at the cases of the result where you will find the fa appearing at the middle between the condition and the result. This is what the rule is talking about, but only in a few cases. Only when the jaza is one of the following. So first we have the case jumlatun ismiya. So the first case we have is jumlatun ismiyatun. So what do I mean jumlatun ismiyatun? We'll look at the example here. So for example, I have in, ta'tini, okay, in ta'tini فأنت مكرمون. فأنت مكرمون. Okay, in ta'tini, in if. Ta'tini, if you come to me. فأنت مكرمون, you will be treated hospitably. If you come to me, you will be treated hospitably. So what is the particle of jazm here? The particle of jazm, in. Okay, so this is my particle of jazm. Okay, what is the condition of my sentence? What is the shart of my sentence? The condition is if what? If you come to me. So that is the condition. So ta'tini is my shart, my condition. Okay, فأنت مكرمون, what is the result? The result is if you come to me, what is the result? The result is you will be treated hospitably. So this here is my result. Now notice where the fa comes. Judging on the ruling, from the ruling here, we had said that fa is brought before the jaza of the shart. So what is the jaza of the shart? This is my jaza. Fa is brought before. So this is my fa here. My fa is here. My jaza starts from here. To be precise, it starts from there. Okay? When the jaza is jumlatul ismiya. So it's my fa comes here before the result. What is my result? My result is anta mukramun. Where is the fa? The fa is brought here before the result. Okay? So in ta'tini fa anta mukramun. If you come to me, you will be treated hospitably. So that was the first case we had here. Now we will be looking at the second case, where of course the fa again will come in the middle of the condition and shart in between. So basically all these sentences we're discussing here, we just have here, we have the condition, then followed by the fa in the middle, joined to something, the result. And of course only when the jaza is one of the following. So the next case we have is when the jaza or when the result is amr. This will happen. So when the jaza or when the result is amr, or I can say when the result is a command, we'll have something like in ra'ayta, in ra'ayta. I hope you remember your fi'lul mudari and your fi'lul madis. In ra'ayta zayda فأكرمه فأكرمه. Okay, in رأيت زيد فأكرمه. If you see Zaid, treat him hospitably. If you see him, treat him hospitably. Okay, so this is my command. This is my amr. I'm commanding you. Okay, in رأيت زيد, if you see Zaid, فأكرمه, treat him hospitably. Okay, so here again you notice what is my particle of jazm. My particle of jazm is if, that is in. This is my particle of jazm, if. Okay, and of course what is my condition? My condition is if you see Zaid. Okay, if you don't see him, then it's not a problem. So if you see Zaid, in ra'ayta Zayda, okay, so this is my condition. What is the result? فَأَكْرِمْهُ, treat him hospitably. فَأَكْرِمْهُ. This is my result. Where is the fa? The fa is in the middle. So the fa, I have my condition there. Then followed by fa, I have my fa there. Then finally I have my result there. Okay, so the second condition, if my result is amr, the fa will appear in between the condition and the result. Of course, the in, from our first ruling, in always appears before both the sentences, before the shart and before the jaza. Okay, now our third condition we have here is if the jaza or if the result of the sentence is a prohibition, if it is a nahyu. Okay, so for example, if I have a sentence in ataka Zayda, okay, in ataka Zaydun فلا تهن فلا تهنه. Okay, so in ataka Zaydun fala tuhinhu. If you see Zayd, do not humiliate him. Okay, so so my particle of the sentence, of course, here is again in. So in is my particle of jazm. What is the condition? What am I asking? What is the condition? I'm saying that if, okay, in ataka Zayd, meaning if Zayd comes to you. So that is the condition. The condition is if Zayd comes to you. In ataka Zayda, if Zayd comes to you, that is my condition. Fala tuhinhu, do not humiliate him. So again here, do not humiliate. This is my result. Fa is in the middle. It's in between condition and result. I have my fa. Okay. Now last example condition of jaza. So we had jumlatul ismiya. If the jaza is jumlatul ismiya, or if the jaza is amr, it will take this format, or if the jaza is a prohibition, a nahyu, it will take this format. Finally, if the jaza is a dua, it will also take this format above. So this is more like a dua. You all know what a dua is, more like a prayer. Okay, so if I have the sentence in akramtani, in akramtani fajazaka Allahu khayra. فَجَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. Meaning what? Meaning in akramtani, meaning if you treat me hospitably, فَجَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا, then may Allah reward you if you treat me hospitably. So my condition is what? If you treat me hospitably. So this is my condition. Of course, again, in is particle of jazm. And the prayer, the dua is the result. Of course, it's more like a dua. Dua is the result. فَجَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. May Allah reward you. That is the dua of my sentence. So that is the result. So this is my result. جَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. This is my result. Going all the way there. Okay, so fa again is in the middle. Same like here. So I have my condition. Here is my condition, followed by fa in the middle. My fa is here in the middle. My result at the end. So you notice that it will take this format: condition, fa, result, if my jaza is jumlatul ismiya, if my jaza is an amr, command, if my jaza is a nahyu, a prohibition, or finally if my jaza is a dua, like this, فَجَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. Okay? So of course, these were the conditions where you would find such format sentence. Now we will look at one last ruling. This is regarding the fi'l al-mudari. That is also very important. So the next ruling we have is, of course, a fi'l al-madhi. You all know what fi'l al-madhi is. I mean, we have been singing this song in the beginning. Okay, this is of course the past tense, fi'l al-madhi. Now this past tense, the ruling says, fi'l al-madhi, this past tense here, okay, it will be converted into future tense in the following case. So this past tense will automatically be converted into future tense in the following cases. So we have case A. So case A says, okay, when it is used as a dua, okay, so when used as a dua, okay, for example, Jazakallahu khaira as a dua, okay, so I have Jazakallahu khaira. Okay, so when it is used as a dua, of course, the fi'lul madhi is converted into the future tense, jaza. Okay, jaza, of course, is to reward. Okay, to reward someone. Now that is my past tense, fi'lul madhi. Okay, if I only say jaza, meaning he rewarded, it is my past tense. But in a whole sentence like this, Jazakallahu khaira, then may Allah reward you. So automatically, this past tense, jaza, has converted itself into present tense. In what condition? If the condition, if it's used as a dua. So if it's used as a prayer, automatically the past tense has converted itself into future. The second case we have here, if it is preceded by what? Preceded by a harfu shart. Okay, so if it's preceded by a harfu shartin, again it will convert itself into future. You all know now what are the harfu shartin, right? So for example, I have sentence, of course, harfu shartin, the conditional particles. So if I have in jalasta, given you this example, in jalasta, jalastu. So in jalasta, jalastu. Now jalasta is past tense. Jalasta in itself, jalasta means you masculine sat. It's past tense, right? Jalastu means I sat, right? But if these two sentences, okay, this is my shart, my condition, this is my result. If they come before, if in is preceded by these two sentences, automatically it will change into future. Okay, so it will be translated as if you sit, I will sit. Okay, does it make sense if I okay, no, this is past tense, how can it be future? But how about if I translate it as if you sat, I sat? It doesn't really make sense, right? Grammatically, it's completely wrong. So this is my harfu shartin. This is my particle of jazm. So when these two come, when we have a jazm before these two, automatically it will be future. I cannot say something like if you sat, I sat. No. So it will be if you sit, I will sit. So you notice this I sat and you sat become you sit and I will sit. That is, of course, converted itself into future. Now one last case of the fi'lul madhi when it will be converted into the future. So the first case we look if it's used as a dua, like fajazakallahu khaira. The second case if preceded by a harfu shartin. The last case, if it's preceded, now we haven't really done about the last case, but just to note down, if it's preceded by ismun mawsul, ismun mawsulun. Okay, now ismun mawsulun, there are a few ismun mawsulun like man. Okay, we'll be looking at them. We haven't really done about this, so just note it down. So for example, I have man jaa, man jaa bil hasanati, من جاء بالحسنة فله عشر أمثالها، فله عشر أمثالها. Okay, man jaa bil hasanati, meaning whoever comes with good, falahu, for him, 10, there will be 10 like it for him. Falahu ashru amthaliha, there will be 10 like it for him. So whoever comes with good, man jaa bil hasanati falahu ashru amthaliha. Now my ismun mawsul is man. Man is my ismun mawsul. Of course, we haven't done about ismun mawsul. We'll be discussing about it. Not to worry, but just to note it down. Okay, so man meaning whoever. Okay, man jaa bil hasanati, whoever comes with good, for him there will be 10 like it. Okay, so of course here again you notice that of course fi'lul madhi again will change into future, like for him there will be 10 like that. Okay, so we sum up our class for today. Inshallah, in our next session we'll be discussing about a topic that has a link with the huruf al-sharq. Okay, so don't forget to tune in on our next session. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Thanks for listening and have a nice day.